What's going on, guys? Lou here, aka the DFS Data Dad, to review some Battle Royale Conference Championship drafts I did on Underdog today. So I don't live in a state where I'm actually able to draft on Underdog. Just so happens I had a work trip to Boston where I had to drive 3 hours this morning to get there, and part of my lunch break consisted of doing some not best ball, but doing some drafts on Underdog. So I was able to get 4 battle royales in. I wish I could have recorded them, but unfortunately I had to do those on my phone. I just want to do a review of the teams I drafted. Looking to get some thoughts from you guys. Unfortunately, like I said, I'm not able to do many Underdog drafts unless I find myself beyond the state lines, whether I'm in, well, I'm probably going to give away my location here, but whether I'm in New York or Massachusetts. So take a wild guess which state I'm located in. That will be today's trivia game. And the winner, I will send over $7 PayPal, so you can submit an entry to the Battle Royale contest. So guess the state and tell me that you subscribed and you're eligible for $7 so you can do a draft yourself. All right. I wish there was a way I can actually see the draft board so I can show you guys what ended up unfolding during the draft, and also show you who I drafted against, because one of them was a guy that I've been starting to watch a little more on YouTube. Puts together some pretty good best ball content. Ended up falling into the same draft as him, and unfortunately my phone had pretty bad connectivity. Ended up auto drafting one pick. Unfortunately, it was a quarterback in the middle of the draft. My strategy for this contest was to just push quarterback. I mean, they're all projected around the same points, so I wanted to load up at wide receiver and running back and tight end before I made a quarterback pick. But let's just dive right into it. Let's start with team number 1. I can tell you which draft position I had for this one. So this was the 104. These are 4-person drafts. I had the 4th overall pick. I started out with A.J. Brown and Travis Kelce. Obviously, Barkley went 1. I honestly don't remember who went 2 and 3. But 2 elite talents at their position. I know A.J. Brown has done virtually nothing in the playoffs so far. Game 1, 1 catch for 10 yards. Game 2, 2 catches for 16 yards. The fact of the matter is Jalen Hurts is a little banged up. I think I'm hearing MCL sprain, which means maybe he's a little less mobile than what he usually is running around. That can mean one of two things. Maybe he'll pass more, or maybe they will really just ramp up and ride Barkley to the Super Bowl. Or try to ride Barkley to the Super Bowl. I mean, Jaden Daniels is going to have something to say about that. Let's get that straight. But I really like A.J. Brown's matchup this week. I said it last week. Maybe that's the get right game. The logic was there. Rams defense is the worst against outside receivers in the entire league. Just didn't work out yet again. Maybe the weather had something to do with that. But I like A.J. Brown here, and I love especially being able to get Travis Kelce right afterwards, the best tight end on the slate. And we've seen what playoff Travis Kelce's done with Mahomes. Mahomes just trusts him. He's probably going to be Mahomes' first read. And yeah, I think I just got two elite talents there, and I'm happy with how that turned out. Coming back on the wrap, I believe I went Eckler and Hollywood Brown. Outside of Barkley and James Cook, I like Eckler as a running back. I think the Commanders' wideouts, especially on the outside, might have a tough time against the Eagles secondary. You have Quinyon Mitchell to worry about. You have the other guy. It's been a long day. It's slipping my mind. Cooper DeJean. That's the name I was trying to think of. It's going to be tough sledding throwing the ball, especially on the outside. So I've seen Eckler lining up in the slot. I've seen him catching balls over the middle of the field, out of the backfield. This could be a game where he's a big part of the game plan. So I like him at running back. Hollywood Brown laid a goose egg last week. Just seeing his volume before the playoffs, coming back from injury, I'm going to just write that 0 off last week. I think I'm just betting on the talent here. I know what he can do as a player, and being able to pair him with Travis Kelce and A.J. Brown made me really excited. And then on the wrap, the final 2 picks here, I have, this is bitten me over the past week, but at some point, some random Bills wide receiver is going to have to step up. I don't think it's sustainable for the Bills offense to keep running through literally just Josh Allen and James Cook, and the target's just going to Khalil Shakir. Someone else is going to have to make a play this week, or multiple plays. Out of the rest of the wideouts outside of Khalil Shakir, Keon Coleman, to me, is the best talent-wise. He has the best big playability. I think third in the pecking order is probably Curtis Samuel. But again, these guys are really hard to project because it's kind of a carousel of who's on the field. Nobody's really on the field running routes at a high clip, so they're really hard to trust. But I'm going back to the well on Keon Coleman. Maybe this is finally his week, and if it is, I want to be a part of it and hit right. And then I think the only quarterback left for me here was Mahomes, which is fine because I have 2 Chiefs pass catchers to pair him with. So overall, Team 1 projected 61.7 points. Chances of this being duplicated, probably high, but comfortable with the projection. Team number 2, we clearly drafted in the 101 because we started out with Barkley. Brought it back with Xavier Worthy and Khalil Shakir, which I was very excited about. 2 pass catchers that are a big part of their offense. I was really happy I was able to get 2 wide receivers that are safe in terms of being able to project, and safe in terms of importance within their offense. And then we brought it back with Hollywood Brown again. Again, I'm just betting on the talent here. I just think he's too good of a player to A, not be on the field, and B, not get targeted. They're going to need him in this game. Bills look a little banged up potentially on defense. I think Taylor Rapp is banged up. I don't think it's Taron Johnson that's banged up, but somebody else in the secondary there is a little banged up, which could make the case for Hollywood Brown to have a better week. And then we brought it home, needed a tight end. Dalton Kincaid, I was all in on him the first 2 weeks. I have a hard time detaching from him. Honestly, it's just one of those things where I want to catch him on the right week. So I'm just going to go back to the well on Dalton Kincaid. Also, thought process there is at some point they're going to need to do something different other than run the ball with James Cook. Because when you're playing Patrick Mahomes, sorry to say it, you're not going to be able to bully your way through that team, especially on the defensive side of the ball. So I think the Bills will need to be creative this week, move the ball a little differently than what they're supposed to. I think they'll try to roll out the same strategy that they have been the whole year under Joe Brady's vanilla offense. Everyone who's watched my video so far probably knows that I don't love Joe Brady's offense, but it wins the Bills games, and it doesn't matter what I think. Then we brought it home with Jalen Hurts, last quarterback to take, last one on the board. Little concerned with his injury, but might not change anything. Might not change his fantasy production. If anything, might help it. Might help him throw some touchdowns, sit in the pocket more. So yeah, overall out of the 4 drafts, this one projected the highest at nearly 68 points. Hoping that it cashes. Chances of it being duplicated, again, probably pretty high. Moving on to draft number 3, we had the 101 again. And you know what? Looking at this is virtually the same team as I drafted before. The only difference is I swapped Khalil Shakir for Devontae Smith, who projects a little lower than Shakir. So that's where the 3-point differential comes from. Unfortunately, Shakir was not on the board. The best name available at the time after I took Worthy was Devontae Smith. So that's where I leaned into that. And finally, this draft was a doozy for me because, again, I had some phone connectivity issues. I could walk you through what the plan was, and I could walk you through where the draft went wrong. So this draft, again, I was in the 104. The guy that I mentioned before earlier in the video was Davis Maddock. I love that guy's content. I love watching him and Liam individually and when they're on together. Just really enjoyable to watch. Put together good content. They both have good thought processes. So he was in the 101. I was in the 104. Initially happy with how the draft started out. I started with Worthy and Brown. I could have started with Brown and Kelsey again, but I already had that combination, so I wanted to get a little different. Once it made its way back to me, the intended pick was going to be Austin Eckler, but my phone timed out. It froze, auto-drafted Jalen Hurts, so then I brought Dallas Goedert back. And then my final 2 picks, I needed a running back, and Isaiah Pacheco was sitting there, and I just don't trust him. I don't think he's fully healthy. Kareem Hunt is the guy that they've been leaning into. And Ty Johnson, it's not like he's a 0 by any means. Scored 14 points 2 weeks ago. Is this going to be enough to win me the Battle Royale? 30K to first? Probably not. And then on the flex side, just to get unique, brought it back with Dalton Kincaid. But initially excited with how this draft started. Bad connectivity. Ended up losing out on some picks that I initially wanted. But it's what it is. Who knows? Maybe this will be the best lineup out of all of them, even though it doesn't project well. So that's it. I was able to get 4 drafts in. I really do wish I can see the draft boards, but yeah, 30K to first. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys are doing drafts on Underdog, I would love to know who you are not leaving your draft without. Who's the guy that's going to win you the 30K? And let's talk about it. We'd love to hear your thoughts. But this was my strategy this week. I was really fortunate to get these drafts in. Again, Underdog is not accessible to me in my state. So unless I make a special trip outside the confines of my state, I cannot play. So if you're a best ball player for MLB, I'll also be doing a recap of my drafts. I'll split it into 2 separate videos. Now we'll do it one video. I did 6 drafts, 3 about a week ago, and I did 3 again today. So we'll go over who I'm liking so far early on in best ball drafts, where I'm seeing the value, and what studs I'm really trying to lock in, and we'll keep it rolling. But that's me. Best of luck if you're playing on Underdog, DraftKings, Sportsbook. If you're still alive in best ball, we'll see you in a couple days for a final thoughts DFS breakdown for the weekend. So again, like, subscribe, comment on the channel. Any interaction helps me out. And for this giveaway, guess what state I'm located in and tell me that you've subscribed. I'll give you $7 to enter into this Underdog Battle Royale tournament. So thanks for watching. I'll see you guys soon.